Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome to another episode of the Decentering Men Strategies series. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about the types of men that I believe the Pretty Girl Club should no longer be entertaining in 2024. The first type is a guy who just seeks free female validation. So these are the guys who maybe you met them somewhere, maybe they pretended to show interest in you romantically, and so it got you excited or something, but it turns out this guy is just looking for a woman to listen to him. He wants to be able to spew all of his rants, and he wants to feel seen, he wants to feel heard, and so he uses a woman's presence to make himself feel validated. And in return, he has nothing to offer you. He's not going to give you a relationship, not going to take you on a date. He brings no value to your life, but he wants you to bring value to his. He wants you to kind of stroke his ego and boost his ego just by simply listening to him and being a listening ear. I no longer tolerate this type of behavior from men because I've noticed that a lot of men are starved for social validation and social interaction. And so what they'll do is they will try their hardest to get women to listen to them in particular, because I've noticed that men value it when a woman listens to them. And so I'm not going to give a guy that type of satisfaction if I'm not getting anything in return. Like, why should I validate a guy who is not validating me? You know how guys online in the red pill space, they try to say, don't validate her. Okay, so then we're keeping that same energy over here in 2024. And that leads me to my next point. I'm not letting a guy tell me what to do. Have you ever noticed how a lot of guys, they feel this sense of ownership over women? It's almost as if they feel like they are allowed to tell you what to wear, tell you how much makeup you should be wearing, tell you whether or not you should be wearing weaves, whether or not you should be dressing the way you're dressing. And I'm no longer listening to it in 2024. I am decentering men. I know that a lot of you guys are decentering men as well. And I've noticed that one of the main ways that men will try to exert power over you is by giving you their unsolicited advice, their unsolicited opinions. I'm no longer listening to the unsolicited opinions of random men, especially men on the internet. I don't care if it's a man at my job. Like, I'm no longer allowing a man's opinion to determine what I think about myself or what I feel comfortable doing, what I feel comfortable wearing, because at the end of the day, it's my life. So it's like, why is it that a lot of men they're not even a part of your life, they're not contributing to your life, they're not paying your bills, they're not over here helping you to succeed anyway, but then some of these guys have the audacity to think that they can tell you how you're supposed to live. The amount of men that have tried to come on to my YouTube channel and attempt to tell me how to run my YouTube channel, it's like, dude, this is just the internet. This is literally just social media. Why are men telling us how we should be running our social media? Why are they telling us what we can and can't post? Like, I'm so done with it in 2024. I'm not dealing with it. Another thing that I'm not tolerating in 2024 is revolving my life decisions around a guy. So I've noticed that a lot of women, we have a tendency to, when we get into a relationship or whatever, everything that we want, every dream or goal that we have, it automatically goes on the shelf if it conflicts with the dreams and goals of our boyfriends or husbands. And I've noticed that a lot of women will sacrifice so much in relationships. Also, you can go 50-50 while he uses you to build up his retirement, to build up his career, or to build up his finances, and then that guy will eventually cheat or whatever. So I'm no longer putting my dreams on the back burner or putting my hobbies and my life on the back burner for a guy. Another thing that I'm no longer doing in 2024 is revolving my social life around a man. First of all, most men are horrible at socializing. Let's just be honest. Most guys are terrible when it comes to general social skills. A lot of guys can't hold an interesting conversation. A lot of guys are not very good at joking around without insulting people. So I don't know why we as women have even been revolving our social lives around men anyway, but that's another thing that I am no longer tolerating, is expecting to get my social fulfillment and all of my social interactions and my fun from being around a guy. I've noticed that the way we've been socialized as women is we tend to devalue female friendships, and then we tend to overvalue relationships or friendships with men. And we all know how that turned out. And so I'm not keeping that energy in 2024. Not to mention the fact that most guys don't even have hobbies anyway. A lot of guys don't really do much outside of video games and porn. And a lot of guys that do have hobbies, their hobbies don't usually line up with women's most common hobbies. And I realized that a lot of times in my past relationships, when I would get into arguments with boyfriends or whatever about doing certain hobbies, the reason I would be so disappointed all the time was because I was revolving my social life around this guy. So it's like I wanted him to go on a walk with me at the park. I wanted him to go with me to the coffee shop. I wanted him to go with me to do all of these different things. And when he would rather sit on his phone or, scroll on his phone or play video games, then I used to get upset. But that was because I did not have other girlfriends or I didn't want to do those things by myself. And it's okay to not want to do things by yourself all the time because I'm an extrovert. So I love being around other people. I thrive in the company of other people. So I understand wanting someone to do fun things with. But I've learned that depending on men to supply the fun in my life, depending on men to supply all of the positive, great memories in my life, that's pretty much not going to work out for the most part. So I've learned to prioritize female friendships. Another good habit that I think the Pretty Girl Club can use for 2024 is no longer losing sleep over a man. And when I say don't lose sleep over a man, I'm not just talking about arguing and stuff like that, but I actually feel like a lot of us have lost sleep over a man because we stay up late thinking about him. We lay in our beds and we fantasize about the guy, or we dream about how we're going to see him at work tomorrow. Or maybe you're one of those girls who stays up late talking on the phone to a guy for hours and, you're just pouring out your heart. You're telling your whole life story. I no longer do stuff like that, especially because I've realized that, if you just look at basic statistics, over 70% of relationships, no matter what kind of relationship it will end in a breakup over 70% of the time. So whether you're polyamorous, friends with benefits, married, boyfriend, girlfriend, engaged, 70% of the relationships that you have in your life are going to end in a breakup. So why would I lose sleep? Why would I lose my beauty sleep and literally lose cognitive function in my brain? Because being sleep deprived literally affects your brain health negatively. So why would I literally risk my brain health over a guy that has a 70% chance of not even being in my life 5 years from now? Not even 1 year from now. For a lot of these guys, not even 6 months from now. So when I was on dating apps and stuff, I was never staying up late or, missing out on sleep so that I could scroll on a dating app or so I could respond to a guy who's DMing me or so I could text this guy that I just went on a date with last night. No, I'm no longer losing sleep over anyone. I value my sleep and I value my time. Another thing that I'm no longer doing in 2024, I am no longer trying to jump through all of these hoops to prove myself to a man, to prove my beauty to a man, prove my worthiness to a man, prove my femininity to a man, prove how good I am at sex to a man, prove how good I am at listening to a man, and how humble and sweet and submissive I am. I'm not doing any of that. It's a complete waste of my time. And also, men are very fickle, and a lot of men, they don't even know what they want. And so I'm not going to spend the rest of my life chasing an ever-moving goalpost. Another tactic that I've been using for a long time now is I don't have male friends. I genuinely do not have male friends because I really never saw a need for it. Any time in the past that I would have male friends, they always ended up wanting to fuck. They always ended up wanting to date me, or they would profess their love for me, or they would have some sort of hidden agenda, a hidden motive. And I don't have time for that drama. And also, like I said about the whole free validation thing, I'm not your validation machine. I am not your free source of self-esteem. I am not your free 24/7 ego booster who's going to respond to all of your texts on demand and, hang out with you whenever you want, and then I'm getting nothing in return. A lot of men don't even make good friends because they don't understand how to emotionally connect or how to be emotionally vulnerable. So why should I share my vulnerability and my kindness and my sweetness and open my heart to someone who is not going to even ever be vulnerable with me? Not even on a friendship level. No, I'm not wasting my time with that. I don't see where I have enough to gain from a male friendship, unless, of course, let's say the guy is pursuing you in terms of dating. He's a gentleman, he treats you with respect or whatever. But for the most part, a lot of guys, they don't just come out of the bat treating you with the ultimate level of respect. Usually, guys treat you with respect on the condition or in hopes that they will eventually get access into your pants. And this is why I'm suspicious of men where they say, oh, all these girls are just my friends. Because have you ever seen a guy go out of his way to make friends with a girl that he finds extremely hideous or with a girl that he finds ugly? No, a lot of guys are so shallow to the point where they won't even want to be your friend if they don't find you attractive or if they don't find you sex worthy or if they don't find you, as someone that can be pursued for sex. So I'm not dealing with that. A lot of guys who can't get a girlfriend or guys who are just bad at socializing with women in a romantic context, often what they will do is they will try to surround themselves with female friends, and then they will use their female friends to fulfill the different roles that a girlfriend would normally fulfill. So they will start sleeping with their female friends, or they will use their female friends to fulfill their sexual needs. Maybe they'll use another female friend to fulfill their emotional needs. Then they'll use a third female friend to fulfill their therapist needs and to be kind of their support system. Then they'll use another female friend to come over to his apartment and like kind of cook for him and stuff or run errands for him. And so I'm not doing that. I'm not giving out my free labor. I've noticed that a lot of guys who seek out female friends, oftentimes what they're really seeking out is some form of labor, whether that's emotional labor, sexual labor, or he just wants that woman to be a simple ego booster for him or a validation machine for him. And I just don't have the time and energy for that. It's going to take 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days per year to invest in myself and to invest in my own level up journey. And so I don't really have the extra energy to give to random guys. And also, I know that a lot of men are disingenuous friends with women because a lot of times when women get boyfriends or when we get married and stuff, our guy friends will suddenly disappear. Have you ever noticed that? They'll suddenly disappear. They will suddenly distance themselves a lot. But it's like, I thought that we were just friends this whole time. Like, why are you acting all awkward now? Why are you acting weird now? And it's because that guy knows that he can no longer use you for whatever labor he was using you for before, because now you kind of like belong to another guy in his eyes. So he didn't respect your labor or your time and energy before when you were single, but suddenly when you're attached to another guy, he respects your boundaries and respects the fact that, oh, wait, she's providing those services to another man, so like, let me back off. Have you ever noticed that? And also, think about this for a second, ladies. Why does it take so long for women to figure this kind of thing out? Like, do you make your guy friends laugh? No. Do you think that he looks up to you as a person and wants to become more like you? No. Do you play some sort of instrument or do something super interesting that he wants to follow? No. Do you think that that man's time and attention is free, like he's just giving it to everyone all the time? No. Do these guys enjoy going shopping with you or going to brunch with you? Most of the time, they don't. Do you think your guy friends love hearing about all of your friendship drama that's going on in your life? No. From a man's perspective, a lot of times there are no benefits to being friends with you if sex is off the table, or if there's no possibility of ever getting sex or ever getting some other form of emotional labor. So like I said, validation, maybe you're doing chores for him. I've heard of women coming to guys' apartments and cooking and cleaning for them for free. No relationship status or anything. Women are just doing this. So anyway, what do you ladies think? What are you not tolerating in 2024? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.